Good morning, grade 9. We are busy looking at financial mathematics, and in the grade 9 syllabus we will be doing mostly, besides doing VAT and budgets that we are currently busy with, we also need to take note of a few working out of interest rates. Alright, so the first one that we're looking at, and it is also in your notes, you will see there on the front page is the formulas, and also there's a block. I ask you to highlight it, but I'm also going to request on your own time to make a summary and copy that block into your book. Alright, so that you know the formula, and when writing you need to take note of especially what you are writing. So therefore it helps you to remember, and it's also a good way of revising, so you are preparing yourself. Now note, I did give you another page, as I told you, due to unforeseen circumstances, alright, where the other classes did not focus on financial maths, and it won't be assessed in the test. Such a big, not a lot of work of financial maths will be assessed, but if there is financial maths in, it will be very elementary questions, like for example, determine the VAT of something, or something very small that you can, or if we say convert the dollar to rand, but that stuff is almost, it correlates to rates and ratios. All right, so you will be able to do that without having the knowledge of financial maths in depth. All right, so when we talk about financial maths, and this one is our first one, we say simple interest, and simple interest is calculated on the capital or the principal amount, and that is P. P stands for the principal amount. Now the interest earned each year would be the same for a particular rate of interest. And our formula that we have is A is equal to P. We have a bracket 1 plus I, and I is your interest, and your interest is going to be worked out of 100. If you given into a percentage, you always say, for example, they give you 5%, you always say 5 over 100, or they give you 7%, you say 7 over 100, and N is your years that they would give you. All right, and then they say, so A is the accumulated total, so A is what we want to, the answer that we want to work out at the end of the day, and it includes the capital or the principal invested plus the interest accrued, and P is the principal or the capital that has been invested. I is the interest rate per annum as a decimal fraction, or you can write it as, for example, I over 100. Okay, and then N is the number of years. Then our second one is the one we have, compound interest. Alright, so compound interest is our second one, compound interest. And compound interest, it has a formula similar to this one, but the only difference is, let me use equations, so that will be A is equal to P brackets 1 plus I to the power of N. Alright, so that is your compound interest, and it says that compound interest is calculated on the principal or capital amount, as well as the interest that it has been added to the capital at the end of each year. And then they tell us, note in this chapter, you must assume that the interest is always compounded annually. This means that interest is added to the savings at the end of each year. Alright, so what there are some other stuff that we can look at is hire purchase agreements, inflation, and also the line and exchange rates. But we're not going to focus on that. First we need to attend to the homework of yesterday, and the homework of yesterday was question number 8 and 9. Alright, so number 8 and 9, let's quickly look at that. Just make a note, and you should copy this in your book when you get a chance. You should copy these two and make notes. It is also in your notes. Alright, so we're not going to focus too much on financial maths, but we are supposed to come back to all of these exercises when we have an opportunity. Alright, so the question reads at question number 7. Did we look at number 7? Yes, and we marked number 7 just for everyone's clarification. So number 7's answers was number 7.1. What was the original price excluding VAT? Round your answers off, and we said number 7 of VAT. All right, so we were busy with VAT, and we concluded that number 7's VAT, and VAT stands for value added tax, and we say that just make a note for yourself, it is not calculated at 14% anymore, but it's calculated at 15%. So VAT is 15%, and we're busy with the VAT questions right now. And then we said number 7.1's answer was 7.1, the original price of the amount. So I had this little insane method that I used yesterday. Can you remember? It's what I have, divide by what I have, and I multiply by what I want. Alright, so that is just a little quick method that I use to manipulate anything that is being asked to me. And what I did here, I said, what do I have? I have the 175 over 115. Why do I say 115? Because it is the VAT included. So that means the 100% plus also the 15%. And what do I want? I want what? I want only the original price, and the original price is VAT excluded. All right, which is the 100% over 1. Then I do my calculations. This is simplification of fractions. All right, so I can simplify, and then I would get, what is the answer again? 35 over 23, or I can simply just go to my calculator. All right, I am very generous with my calculator, and I ask him, Mr. Cashier, could you help me out? All right, but when in an examination, I whisper this to him because we don't want to make any noises in examination. So we say 175 over 115, all right, and then we say multiply by 100 over 1. You don't have to type that 1 in, but just for safety, let's do that. And that was our answer, 3,500 over 23. And we have to write, because we're working with money, and I ask you, give me 3,500 divided by 23, you're going to look shocked. You're going to ask, how much is that? So we work it to decimal, and then our answer is 152 Rand. All right, so that's our answer, 152. And they ask us to round off to the nearest, what? 152, 17. All right, so it's 17 cents. So 17 cents we can round off to the nearest 50 cents. So that will be just 152.00. Okay, and then our next question, number 7.2 was 7.2. They ask, how much of the selling price is VAT? All right, now there's a lot of ways how we can do this. We can take the selling price and then minus it with the original price. We can do that, or we can say, I'm going to use my little insane method again. I'm going to say what I have divide by what I want. So I have 175 divide by 115 times what do I want? I only want the 15%. All right, so I say 15 over 1. I go to my calculator once again, and I say, all right, that's 175 divided by 115, and I multiply by what I want, and that is the 15%. So I want the 15%, and that will be equal to 22. That 22.883. But if I round it off to the nearest 50, it will be 80. It will be 23. All right. It's 22. Remember, it's 22,82, and that is above 75. So if I round this off to the nearest 50, it will go to 23. So therefore, my answer is 23. And then that is the answers there. All right. So looking at budgets, now we are by budgets, and you were supposed to do this for me for homework yesterday. Sophia's budget for February included 50 Rand for phone, 150 for entertainment, and 120 for food. Is Sophia still within the budget at the end of the month if an actual phone costs 70 Rand and an actual entertainment costs 230, but the food cost 50 Rand? Show all your calculations. All right, so what was Sophia's budget? What are we going to work out first? All right, so our budget was was 50 rand plus 150 plus what? Plus 120 is equal to? 320, that's good. Alright, so 320, and then this was Sophia's budget. And then what was Sophia's spending? What did she actually spend? She spent what? Let's begin there with. Alright, so let's start with at the end of the month of. So actual entertainment costs 230. 230 plus 70 plus 50 rand, and that adds up to a total of 350. All right, so what is the difference? Now I need to say what is the difference between the Sophia's budget and Sophia's spending. The difference is 30 rand. All right, so was she still in her budget? No, she went over budget. So therefore we will conclude that Sophia spent 30 rand over budget. Is everyone with me with that one? You good with that? Alright, so Sophia spent 30 rand with over budget, and then we're going to look at number 9. Number 9 says, Stella is a first-year university student. She has a part-time job as a breakfast waitress earning 200 rand a shift plus tips. She works 2 mornings a week. Answer the questions that follow based on the information below. 9.1. What will she need to earn tips over the month if she is to come within the budget for the month of September? All right. So we're looking at her income, and we need to determine what? The tips. All right. That's basically what they're asking at question number 1. They are asking what is the tips that she earned. All right. So income is the first one. So what was her total income by the end of the month? It's 3,200. That was the total income for the month. All right. But where did she get that total income from? She got it from a job, when a job was 1,600 plus tips. We don't know what the tips is. And then plus pocket money. All right. So what is the pocket money? 800 rand. And what do we want to work out? In algebra, we would, if there's something that we don't know, we would refer to it as x. But in this case, we don't have x. We're working with tips. All right. So we don't have to. We can keep it or let it remain tips for now. So therefore, we're saying now we add up 1,600. So I'm going to add, because this is actually like terms. This one and this one is like terms. I'm going to add that up. 1,600 plus 800 is equal to 2,400. All right, plus tips, and then I say is equal to 3,200. But what do I want? What is the question there? I wanted the tips. All right, so I'm going to say tips, and then I'm going to take this to the other side. So it's going to be tips is equal to 3,200, and then this is a positive on this side. So if I take it to the other side, it becomes a negative. All right, so therefore I say minus 200, 2,400, and then I get a total of 800 rands of tips. That is quite good tips. All right. If they can give me 800 rand for tips, I wouldn't be working here. Okay, so that was question number 9.1. Now 9.2. Question number 9.2. If she has to miss 2 shifts because of being sick. Now we need to answer the following questions. They ask us how much less will she earn, taking into account her tips on average per shift. All right, so stay with me. I just want to finish this one up. We're just going to finish question number 9. So what we say, what is the average for tips? Or what does she earn per shift? 200 rand. And if she was to miss, so per shift, PS, no? PS, listen to me. PS per shift is 200 rand. But how many shifts is he mashing? Is he mashing? 2. Alright, so she's mashing 2. So we multiply that with 2 is equal to 400 rand. But she also got tips. And now we don't know what tip she got for every shift. Alright, but we can work out a average. And the average is how many shifts did she work the previous month. If she got, for example, for what was her earnings? 1,600. Alright, so if she got 1,600, how much shifts did she work if she got 200 rand per shift? No, not 4. Check here, 1,600. Alright, how much does she earn per shift? How much does she earn per shift? She earns 200. That R and that R cancel out. So my answer is 8. Alright. So now I need to say what was the savings or what was the tips. So I say tips was equal to 800. But now I need to say tips divided by 8 by the shifts. Alright. So it's going to be tips divided by shifts to calculate the average. Now I need to say it's 800 divided by 8, which equals to 100 rand per shift on tips. Alright, but how many shifts will she be missing out on 2 shifts? So if she makes every shift 100 rand for 2 shifts, that will be 200 rand. So it's 100 rand plus that 200 rand that she's missing out, and which calculated together is equal to 600 rand that she's missing out per for that 2 shifts. Everyone clear on that? Alright, please quickly write that down. And then number 9.2.2, where can she cut costs to lower expenses? And she can cut costs in the following categories: food, clothes, phone, and entertainment. All of those stuff which women like. No? They can cut it out of their lives. That's food, clothes, phone, and entertainment. Alright, so that is the answer there. Do I see you again?